Hey folks, just going to do a quick demo here on Project 1 to show an example of working through the algorithm to find the path. So that was our input file, and we could see that our input was telling us we had one color, the room was 2 wide, and 3 high. We got our start in the top left corner and our goal in the bottom left corner, with a wall and a door between the two. So we'll use the stack mode to solve this one and give you a good idea how to use this algorithm. So for starters, I'm just going to bring the map over here. It looks something like this. My goal down there, there's a wall between me, there's an A button, and I'm going to call that an A wall. Another thing that I wanted to do was sort of point out that this is when I'm in so-called locked mode, when all my doors are closed. Another way to think about this is I could eventually end up in A mode when I've stepped on the A button, and the world would look like this as far as mobility was concerned. A buttons are ignored on the A mode, A doors are ignored on the A mode. So that's what I'm going to think about when I'm in it. I'll keep in this column what mode I'm in. Here I'll have my current location. And current location refers to where I'm exploring from. Over here I've got my stack, and just like stacks should, it is going to grow upwards as I push things onto the stack, and then I will cross them off when I pop them out. So one of the things that you want to do is, as you're reading this in, you certainly want to find the important locations. There's two really important locations, the start and the goal. So when I am reading the file in, I want to make sure that I know where the start is, so I don't have to go back and search through my data structure to locate it. So I should find it as it's coming in. And I can go ahead and stick that thing on the stack as well. I'm going to put on the stack that I found it at 0, 0. And of course, when you start, you're always in lock mode. So I'll put that's what's on my stack. And after I've read the file in, I call this seeding my container by putting something in the stack. And then I just jump into a loop where all I do is continue to remove things from my container, in this example, a stack, remove things from the container, and then examine what's around them. So the first thing I would do is pop this location off the stack. I'll say that I'm going to be in caret mode, and my current location now is 0, 0. That's where I'm looking around from. So one other thing that you want to make sure that you do is every time you push something into the stack, so I'm already a step behind, whenever you push something into the stack, you want to make sure that you mark that location as discovered. So I can do that like this. So that's discovered. So as I move forward, then every time I discover a location, I'll sort of color it like that so that I don't try to reinsert it into my storage container. All right, so from 0, 0, I can look around. I can see to the north is out of bounds. To the east is a location that I can actually access. So I'll push that onto the stack. I'm in caret mode. That location is 1, 0. And then I'll make sure to mark that location as discovered, right? From there, if I look south, because I'm continuing my investigation loop, looking to the south, I see that wall there. So there's nothing really I need to do with walls. I don't mark them as discovered. I don't walk on them, so I'll just move on past that. And finally, I'll look to the west and see that west is out of bounds from 0, 0. So that finishes an entire iteration of the loop, and then I just continue. I check to see, is there anything left in the stack? And the stack is not empty. So I'm going to pop something from the stack, right? That puts me in mode caret, which I already was in. So now I look at my current location as being there. That's this dot in the upper right-hand corner. From there, I can look north and see it's out of bounds. East is out of bounds as well. And when I look to the south, there's a place that I can walk. I'll be walking there in caret mode still, but that's at 1, 1. So as I push that into my storage container, I want to make sure, to mark that as discovered, so I don't try to discover it again. All right? From there, now it's time to continue my investigation loop, right? I would look, and the pattern is northeast, southwest. So looking to the west, I can see where I actually started from. And since that thing is marked as previously discovered, I'm not going to add it to my storage container. And this is helpful because it keeps you from going into this infinite loop thing. So next step, I'm done with that iteration. Now I look back again at the stack. I see that it's not empty. So I'm going to remove the first item from the stack, the top of it. I'll pull that off. It says that I'm in caret mode still, so my mode hasn't changed, but now I'll be investigating from location 1, 1. And as I get there, it turns out that 1, 1 is a button, and the rules say when you're on the button, that's all you can do is push the button. So from here, I can discover a new location, a new state, if you will, sort of these two pseudo rooms on the left. So that location is mode A at 1, 1. And that's all the investigation I can do from standing here at mode caret 1, 1. After that, I continue my loop again. I go back and see, is there anything left on the stack? Yes, there is something left on the stack. So I'll pop that off, which will put me now in mode A. I'll still be at location 1, 1. And from there, I will probably be looking around. Oops, forgot to mark this as visited once I pushed it into the storage container. Looking around from A11, I can see that there's availability to the north, and that is going to be A1, 0. So I'll push that location on the stack, mark it as visited. To the east is out of bounds. To the south is A1, 2. That's a valid location. So we'll mark that as discovered. And then as I look finally to the west from A11, I see that there's the wall again, and that's not a place that I can walk, so I leave that off. All right, that iteration down. Next thing I'm going to do is pop the top item off the stack, which is, of course, this location A12, which puts me here. A10 remains on the stack because I haven't had a chance to pop that off yet. But I'm going to start working now as if I was investigating from A12. As I look north, I see that A11 is already discovered. To the east is out of bounds. To the south, also out of bounds. To the west is a valid location. And if I want to, I can push that location into the storage container, and that's A0, 2. But also I note that this was my goal, so I don't necessarily have to push it in the container. You can if you want to, but in either case, once you've discovered it, you say that, yes, I found that a path exists. And that's how the algorithm works there.